Hello friends, my name is RagePanda1 and I am actually here with good news for once and positivity, because the game did something surprisingly that's actually good. Now the first thing that I wanted to mention was the packs that they came out with where you could spend $6 American dollars for one companion shard, which by the way was holding open your mouth and spitting into it amounts of disrespectful. I cannot believe that they for a second thought that that was a good idea or something that we would approve of. They appear to not be here. Now, I'm not sure if the packs just ran out, but they were here after the reset. I saw them, I recorded them being there, and then my recording failed because of my hardware issues that I'm having right now. And I came back to re-record and they were gone. Now maybe they eliminated them because they know that we are so unhappy about it. And by the way, if they do come back, don't you dare ever buy one, because you should not let people treat you like that. And I hope that you respect yourself more than what that would indicate. So along with removing those packs that were abusive and trying to profit off of you being upset from a problem they created, we now have our Wheel of Time event back on my server, which means that this is the first time ever that a clan event has come back around on this game. So at the same time that those packs that everybody hates disappeared, along with a million players, unfortunately, who quit the game because they were tired of all of the BS that was going on, those packs disappeared. This event came back. Now, I think that if they planned on having this event come out, they would have told us about it and they would have been paying money to advertise that it was happening, because we were furious. We were absolutely livid with the fact that we were not able to get these back. People were talking about quitting the game. People were quitting the game. They came out with these insulting packs of $30. By the way, you could only buy 6 of those. You needed 12 to get the companion. So you would have had to pay 180 American dollars, then wait for the event to come around with no benefit from your $180, just so you could then spend another $180 and only gain a companion from it. Are you kidding me? I'm glad they're not here. I hope they never come back. They really need to rethink what they're doing, because they are skating on thin ice. However, I think the power of the people is showing through, because this event is here and we can celebrate that. It's exceptionally good for me because I started late on this server, so I didn't actually get access to this event when I started. So I'm going to get to do that whole thing, and I could summon on this event if I wanted to. I do think that Sanguine is an amazing clan trait, and I think it's one that you could justify having on every single team. Like literally, if you had Sanguine and Hulking on every single team on one of your characters, preferably, I don't know, a female Lionstone or something, I think you'd be doing real good for yourself by doing that. Real good. So that is very happy. I know I sound irritated. It's because my recording has failed 4 times in a row now, and I'm talking about stuff that's irritating, and then they kind of like kissed the boo-boo better a little bit, you know? So I'm happy about it. I'm glad that I feel like I can support the game again, because I felt like I was doing you guys a disservice by even showing this game on screen for a while, because they were just trying to abuse you. But, you know, after our community banded together and we all didn't take it anymore at the same time, we showed them a little bit of our power, I guess, and they had to respect it or lose their game entirely. It made me feel like maybe people like me complaining about this stuff and bringing it to people's attention can make a positive difference. Now, I'm not saying that it's because of me or even people like me that these changes are happening. I'm saying I want to be part of that community, and if I can do anything to help in that direction, then I want to be doing all I can do to help in that direction, especially if it means that a game that I really enjoy is going to become the best version of itself. So I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope you understand that I'm very happy with the change that has happened here and the fact that our event is back in play. And we can actually get a companion again. We got a second chance in it. Hopefully that means all the other ones will come around. So I'm going to sandwich in a little negativity here in between the positivity. This has all been positive, right? You're on board with the fact this has been pretty positive reviews so far. Guild Conquest has been a blatant lie. They said it was going to be a PvE event. It is not. It's 100% PvP. It is so PvP that one of the ways that you're competing is with your own guild to try to get a higher score than them. Everything about it is PvP. That was a lie. They said that it was completely different than Valley of Conquerors. That was a lie. It is entirely Valley of Conquerors on a different map. In fact, their in-game mail system even refers to it as Valley of Conquerors. So, you know, not too happy with that. I will not be playing this again until somebody tells me it's fixed and better. I'm just not. I don't care. I just don't care. I know that if you're lucky and your game works, you can actually do it and strategize. And maybe that could be fun to do with your guild, but I'm not going to sit here and fight this absolute tornado of crap. That's the best way I can put my experience for guild conquest, a tornado of crap, just so that I can hope to be one of the 1% of people that's going to get that hybrid. Somebody did the math, and it's not even 1% of people will even have the potential to get the hybrid reward from this go round of the guild conquest. And with all of these different maps and them saying that it's going to be an ever evolving event, we have no reason to believe that the same hybrid will come back next time. And even if it does, why would we want them to keep coming back with the same hybrid? We don't want that. We want a continuous new pool of rewards, and we want more people to be getting their reward each time. So, not happy with any of that. Not going to make a whole video on it. That's going to be my review, and I'm going to just leave it at that because I got nothing good to say about it. So, people have wanted to know what I thought. That's what I think. Moving on to positivity. Let's get in the... Why didn't everybody just squirrel on up here and climb into the positivity tree? Why don't you get into Rage Panda 1's nest and we're just gonna snuggle up and be all happy. You ready for it? Good. Let's start with the negative part. The Hyrule clan and the crime that lies therein. They have the 6012 leadership. That was false advertising, as we all know. The way that they tried to avoid the actual literal crime of that being false advertising is that they changed everybody's leadership so that it would look like this one was actually correct and that they could get away with the thing that they had done. Now, I care a lot more about you guys than I care about being partnered with the game, and if they don't like what I'm about to say, then they can just deal with it, you know? If I have to be punished from them for saying it, then that's just the way it's going to be. But if they have refused your refunds on every single person who's tried, I've read the things, they were extremely condescending, and they told you, yeah, well, Hyrule's a good champion, so get over it. And you know what? I don't appreciate people talking to my people like that, you know, at all. So I got some news for you. If you summoned on this event because you thought you needed the companion for that district effect that you were going to get from this leadership, if you spent money and they refused you a refund, then I want you to go to Google or Apple and apply for a refund through them and explain the situation about how you were bait and switched about an upgrade that was not an upgrade. You will not be the first person to get a refund because I have screenshots from other people who have been refunded upwards of $130 for the same issue. So if you were robbed on this event by false advertising, then I suggest that you go to your manufacturer's Play Store and you get yourself unrobbed that way, because I don't approve of that and neither should you. Now, let's get down to these actual changed stats, shall we? So keep in mind, this is a positive thing. I'm still irritated about it, right? They were robbing people with this. Of course I'm still irritated, but we need to look at the silver lining and the positive effects that have come therein. Unfortunately, they're veiled in darkness and secrecy, as always. They said that they changed the leadership stats on all of the champions, and they did, but they also changed all of the strengths on all of the champions, and they're all considerably lower, and we don't know what kind of effect that's going to have on the in-game stats, if any. So our Orost that we wanted to have the strength that it said she had, which was over 400k, is now down to 235k. Not great. It says that her leadership is over 6,000. That sounds good, doesn't it? But before we get into the leadership, I want to talk about the changes to the stats. Like Tidestorm was, I believe, over 600,000, and now they're under 450. If you have screenshots of your character's power before these changes and after, I would like you to verify that your power levels, like your actual strength on your character, is not different. Because if they lowered the total strength on these things, number one, they didn't tell us, and they should have. I mean, even still, they changed these numbers. They said they only changed the leadership ones. They changed the other ones as well, and they didn't tell us, and they should have told us, and they should have released a graph of what everything said before and what it is now. So how can you be so stupid, Goat Games, that you don't get the point that you need to be giving us these actual numbers for things you're changing? You absolute fools. Figure it out. I'm sorry, we're in the positivity tree. Must have slipped my mind. So, if you have any evidence of that, I'm hoping that they stayed the same, and I'm assuming that they stayed the same. I'm going to be checking personally. I want you to do the same, because otherwise it's going to change how effective some of our traits are, like brutal, energetic, even the flat stat traits like athletic. It will change how long that scales, either in a positive or negative direction, based on if that stuff changed or not. So, that's important, and we need to know it. But we're here for good news, and I have some very good news. Goat Games did something perfectly. Guys, believe it or not, they did something perfectly. Now, I was finishing out getting the companion for the Doombringer to Mythic. When this was all going down, I decided to just finish it anyway, because I certainly wasn't going to be supporting the Hyrule clan, and the Hyrule clan does share the same district as my Doombringer anyway. I was willing to take second best if that's what I had to do. But the good news is that even after all of the changes that they made to these numbers, the rankings of each person in how good they are in a district is exactly the same. So if you invested in all of the best people already, which I'll remind you are male Doombringer, male Fulgur, female Luxuriant, and male Griffin, if you invested in the companions so that you could produce those before, got them all the way to Mythic, then guess what? You are in the clear, because everything is exactly the same. All of the best people are still the best people, all of the second best people are still the second best people, and so on down the line. They actually executed that part of it perfectly, because if they had changed those rankings, then ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'd be furious. So yeah, glad that they got that part right. Glad that they got the new clan events coming back around. That is all good stuff. I'm glad that our voices are being heard, and I'm glad that I've had a change in mentality where I feel less like I'm shilling for the company that is robbing the people that I actually care about, and more like I can help you and help us to protect ourselves. It encourages me to log into the game more, to try harder, to make better and better videos. And if you want to be sticking around to see some of those videos, then I would invite you to subscribe to the channel. My next video that I intend to make is going to be a generic trait guide of a couple of builds that you can apply to every single character. And these are going to be basically the same builds. You'll be able to put them on any single character that you want to put them on, and they're going to work great. And I'm going to have a list of exceptions for people who have very specific things that they want in their kit. And hopefully that'll keep you all satiated while I continue to make my individual class guides. So to all of the viewers who are sticking around through the hard times of the game, and I consider this probably the hardest time that the game is going to have. I think it's going to be uphill from here. I appreciate you so much for the love and support that you share with me and the rest of the community, and you are the reason that I am able to stick through this, and that I'm still excited to be doing what I'm doing, and you know, it's all for you. Thank you. I have been Rage Panda 1, and I will see you in the next one.